The rostermania news is just not stopping. I mean, 2 videos in the same day, right? This was the big one. This is what really kicked off after we did the video earlier today talking about LAT potentially dropping Ghosty for aBeZy or Celium. aBeZy is a restricted free agent heading into next season. Now, obviously, restricted means he's still under contract to FaZe, and somebody would likely have to buy him out, but he only tweets this out if it looks like he's not in the plans for FaZe heading into next year, and it looks like it's going to be a full-on rebuild around Simp. You see here with FaZe, now what? They've been tweeting a lot of stuff on the timeline, so either they're just capitalizing off the opportunity for the impressions. Some people think they're just baiting, like they're trying to make us think they're going to make a roster change and then something's going to happen. A lot of them are going to come back, but I think this is really it. I think this looks like it's going to be it for the trio. This might be it for the Tiny Terrors, and we might actually have an idea of where aBeZy could be heading here, because from Taylor here, who I'm not really sure, I want to say their bio at one point said they're a part of Dexerto, but I don't see that in here. But Jacob Hale was retweeting this person's tweets, so we obviously know it's a credible source if he is. But aBeZy and Joe Deceives apparently want to team together, but obviously with both of them being under contract to their current orgs, it would require a buyout on someone's end, or even to buy out both of them if you're a team maybe like the Vegas Falcons, if you wanted to bring them in, because the Falcons have expressed interest, or reportedly have interest in both of these players. But then it gets even more interesting, because here from Jacob Hale and also from Taylor, Draza and Kenny want to be a duo, and they also potentially want to team with aBeZy and Joe Deceives. Now obviously, to make this team happen, it'd be pretty difficult, right? It's either we have to probably be on Toronto Ultra, where they just keep Joe Deceives, they buy out aBeZy, and then they sign Draza and Kenny, or the Vegas Falcons maybe could splash some cash, or maybe the Gentlemates could splash some cash to make this team happen. But I would imagine Joe Deceives is not going to be cheap. aBeZy, I have no idea what his bio would look like, but being as he announced restricted free agent, FaZe obviously are willing to let him go. It's not like Joe D, where Ultra probably want to keep him around, or at least that's what the report was from Ronnie, that he wouldn't go cheaply because they'd have no intention of selling him. But this would definitely be an interesting roster, because Draws and Kenny, we know that they have chemistry together. They've been together in the past. aBeZy and Joe Deceives are really good friends. They're always on stream playing 8s, playing ranked together. So these guys together could be definitely an interesting roster. You'd need the ARs to play well, though. They wouldn't be able to Kenny have a bad season like he did this year, or even Draza kind of have a bad second half of the year. They would need to play well all around, but would be an interesting roster if they're able to make it happen. But speaking of aBeZy and some of the other players that are kind of the topic of conversation right now, Breaking Point has started releasing their cards, as you can see here. And I want to look at a handful of them because it's pretty interesting to see. People were kind of on aBeZy's ass this year, right? Especially in Hardpoint, saying he's playing not too good. And I mean, as you can see from these cards, right, it's probably potentially the worst season of aBeZy's career we have seen in the CDL. Then looking at Draza, another player that's in the talks for certain spots on some good teams here. Good online, it kind of fell off on LAN, but overall solid. Celium, same thing, good online, fell off on LAN, overall pretty solid. I mean, this is going to happen when you struggle on LAN the second half of the year, right, when you're Atlanta FaZe. I mean, I know didn't like complete. I mean, they got top 6 at champs. They obviously got out in the group stage at EWC, so those are going to definitely tank your numbers. And looking at some of the Thieves guys, Dan Ghosty, as we talked about earlier today, potentially being dropped from the LA Thieves on LAN. Big fall off, right? Online good, overall still pretty good either way, but the LAN was a big thing for him. And then Dylan Envoy, I mean, pretty consistent across the board, right? I guess a slight overall decrease for him on LAN, but all of these players, pretty interesting to kind of see their numbers, especially a guy like Dylan Envoy to me, because when I made the video earlier, you can go watch it. If you didn't have to see the video yet, you can go look, but talking about Ghosty being dropped, everyone in the comments for the most part was kind of like they should drop Envoy too, or they should drop Envoy instead of Dan. So I think Envoy had a really good year, bro. It was just champs at EWC where the whole team struggled for the most part. That really tanked a lot of, I think, the feelings people had about the team. But then we also got some other roster news. Awakening is a free agent, so Boston Breach look like they're going to be making a change, although Cammy, Purge, and Snoopy have not announced anything yet, so maybe it's just a one-man change. We also have TJ Halley announcing he is an unrestricted free agent. Nothing about Arcides from the Vegas Falcons, so we'll have to see if maybe he's in their plans going forward, or maybe they're keeping him around until they figure out who else they can get. But he's a free agent, as well as Kremp is an unrestricted free agent, which is definitely an interesting one, because I think some people thought that C9 might keep him around, right? Build around him, or maybe keep him and Sib and build around them going forward. But Kremp unrestricted. There is a lot of free agents on the market right now that all I think can improve teams. I mean, just quickly scrolling through the free agents. I mean, everybody from Gentlemates, right? We got Boston players, FaZe players, Surge player, Rocker players, Cloud9 players, Miami players. There are so many free agents. And then obviously everybody who's in Challengers, right, is going to be trying to get into the league. There's a lot of free agents in here. Some that'll probably end up back in Challengers, and many that I think will get on CDL teams. But we're going to just have to wait and see kind of who goes where, because it's going to we need the first domino to fall, right? We need the Thieves to make their move. We need FaZe to announce somebody or to sign somebody, or Falcons to buy somebody out. That'll really set the dominoes off and kind of see who goes where. But there's a potential for some pretty big things happening, right? I don't really know, but you let me know. What do you think about Atlanta FaZe letting aBeZy go and strictly building around Simp in the comments? And if you want to stay up to date with everything rostermania, make sure to sub to the channel. You could turn noties on if you'd like. We were live talking about it a ton today, which is pretty awesome. So thank you all for the support on the recent videos. Welcome into all the new viewers and subscribers, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.